Last time, on Demon Rush Episode 10, Soren began his training with his new master, Oz, but until this point, he hasn't been able to unlock his Imperium or use any spells. We found out why because the feather that Michael had given him was actually draining him of all of his Imperium, and as his master Oz took the feather to inspect it, Soren was able to unleash his power. During their conversation, they talked about how the government has blocked off the area to the city where Michael fought the dragon, no doubt in order to create new weaponry. And now we're going to dive deep into seeing what the military is up to. If you're new to Demon Rush, we released our second anime promo on the channel featuring Japanese voice actors and great animation. I hope you guys will go see it. It's on our YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's get into the chapter. So as we saw from chapter 3, when Michael was fighting Algolga, the dragon, they clashed their weapons and there was this huge crater in the city, which the government created this giant black sphere around, and they're doing experiments in there. It's ground zero. And we see inside here, there's a captured demon in some sort of test tube. And this is General Adler, which we were introduced to in chapter 2, next to some scientists as they're overseeing this prisoner demon. As the scientist says, the creature appears to be human, or at least they once were. They gather an energy source by killing, which in turn causes them to turn more grotesque. General Adler saying, "I'm aware. I witnessed my men being slaughtered while these things gorged on their mangled bodies." The real question is, how can you turn it into a weapon? Obviously, this is what our military would do in real life. The scientist gives him a glare, and it appears that they've been working on something. Q has determined that the energy source exists all around us. We've developed this chamber in an attempt to extract it from the subject. That's why we called you down here. So right now it doesn't appear that the government knows what Imperium is, but they know that there's this energy source that the demons feed off of, and it turns out that this Q is developing technology to extract it. Normally it would take decades to advance this type of technology, but Q is speeding up the process 1,000-fold. Is Q like some sort of mysterious character that's working with the government? What exactly is it? The scientist presses a button on his console and the demon gets electrocuted to death. And then you see the Imperium start to float out from its body, which gets sucked through some tubes and down into some canisters. So obviously this seems like a very crude way of extracting Imperium from a person, whether or not this would work on humans, but we've seen Imperium being absorbed plenty of different ways throughout the series so far. This is the first time it's been used in this sort of manner. And it shows that the Imperium that was drained from this demon was imported into a canister, which the scientist loads into a gun. Q has developed the means of converting this energy source into ammunition capable of destroying these monsters, and it appears to be far more effective than traditional weaponry. Lieutenant Hightower, please demonstrate. And now we get introduced to a brand new character named Cole Hightower. He's the best of the military, and you actually did see him from one of the clips in the Demon Rush Episode 2 anime promo. I'm not going to spoil anything about this guy, but for now you get to see him fight. He takes the gun, saying payback time, so it seems that they have fought before. Perhaps he was on Ground Zero when Michael was fighting the dragon and the city was overrun by demons. And this gun is also very familiar to a card from the card game called Ghost Gun. Now we see Cole Hightower in this large chamber that is behind some locked blast doors, and there they have 3 demons chained up. So inside this giant facility that the government has built in the middle of the city, they've been doing experiments on these demons trying to harness their power. Weapons test XR308. This is their 308th weapons test. They've been practicing quite a bit. Lieutenant Hightower, please proceed. He fires the gun with incredible kickback and it launches out. He definitely wasn't expecting the power of an Imperium gun, and this gun completely obliterates one of the demons right away. From behind a protective glass, General Adler and his comrades stare on as he gives this creepy smile and says, "Excellent." Obviously, this guy's getting overly excited at the thought of his military being equipped with new hyper-powered Imperium weapons. Even Cole's like, ho 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 ho, baby, give me some more of this. But then he sees that the 2 demons that are left start to absorb the Imperium of the one he just destroyed. And this in turn will make them stronger, their muscles grow and they become larger, and they're able to use that to bulk up and break free from the chains that bind them. I absolutely love this this shot here done by the artist Pedro Perez. The way he used the lighting to give the characters so much volume and muscular aperture is just great. Cole Hightower realizes, uh-oh, not good. The gun could only fire one bullet, and now that the other two have broken free, I better bust out my Desert Eagle. The scientist says that the subjects GD-17 and 18 have broken out, so Lieutenant Hightower get out of there immediately, but Adler screams to seal the doors so those things can't escape. And even another scientist saying, but sir, the lieutenant. And that's when General Adler screams, seal the doors off now, completely abandoning one of his greatest soldiers. The demons take the opportunity to charge in at Cole, but he is no pushover, and he has really good aim. So he pulls out this Desert Eagle, fires 3 shots, and hits one of the demons directly in both eyes and in the middle of the forehead, blood spattering everywhere, and it falls to the ground. But the other demon is still charging in at him. I love the way Pedro draws this. It just reminds me of Alien or something. Cole reaches into his jacket to pull out some more weapons, and the demon gets point blank range of Cole Hightower. Not looking too good for him. The demon goes in for a strike, but Cole's able to maneuver behind him, and then we see the weapon he has. It's this large Bowie knife or machete that he pulled out of his jacket, and he's going to use it to stab the demon directly in the back, kind of like in the spine, trying to disable it. But we know how resilient these demons are. If you don't blast them with an Imperium gun or 3 shots to the face, they can pretty much get up and keep going. And this causes Cole to get smashed in the jaw with an elbow, spitting out blood. This sends him flying back, but he's able to land and recover before wiping off his chin and giving a smile. And that's because behind the demon, we see that in the blade that he dug into his back is 2 grenades, and the pins have been pulled. The demon freaks out, and boom, they explode, and this is going to do some really good damage to the demon. We can see that half of his body has been blown off by the 2 grenades. Pretty nice maneuver here from Cole as the demon falls to the ground and is dead. Adler explains that Lieutenant Hightower is one of our most decorated soldiers. He got the Medal of Honor, the Purple Heart, 2 Silver Stars, the Legion of Merit with Combat Valor. He's the best of the best. And if anybody can survive this, it's him. If he can't stop these demons, nobody can. So it appears that all 3 of the demons have been destroyed, but as this one that blew up with the grenades falls to the ground, he explodes with Imperium, and the one that has the bullets in his head uses the opportunity to absorb it, which in turn causes him to grow bigger, stronger, and heal his face, now overflowing with Imperium power. Now he's also starting to look very similar to Jarkon from Demon Rush Chapter 8, which Rush fought in Limbo. Lieutenant Hightower correctly asserts that these things are incredibly resilient as it charges in and tries to smash him. You can see how big it is now. It's like maybe 3, 4, 5 times the size of Cole's body, and it is tracking him, trying to completely obliterate him. But surprisingly, Cole is able to dodge the attacks, and he's able to maneuver himself up onto the demon's shoulders, wrapping his legs around its neck, grabbing its horns, and then he twists like crazy and snaps its neck. So this is very impressive for a regular human to be able to take out a demon, especially a demon that's absorbed 2 other demons. And also, you can pretty much assume that these demons have all absorbed 1 to 2 humans worth the Imperium at least, which in turn caused them to grow grotesque in the first place. This was described in Chapter 9 by Karner as Rush was pondering why he's seeing the memories of the humans that he absorbed indirectly. As this final demon explodes with its Imperium, it starts to surround Cole, and he kind of freaks out. General Adler saying, don't breathe that in, we don't understand what the effects of breathing that dust in are yet. You'll have to remain in quarantine until we've determined it's safe. We'll monitor your vital signs from here. And Cole's like, yeah, like you didn't know this would happen after years of decorated service. Is this all I am to you, Adler? So he's freaking pissed, as he rightfully should be. Adler's just sacrificing anything and anyone he can, using all of his resources to just get as powerful as possible. He's more concerned about being able to stop the next invasion than take care of his decorated soldiers, which is kind of effed up, but they kind of do similar things in real life as well. So now we're going to go over to Rush, who we saw at the end of Chapter 9 was leaving Hell after he had seen Lucifer give his speech, and Karner has taken him to meet this group of gangsters, where he says these men work for a contact of mine here in the Earth realm. They've apparently discovered information on the Grand Compendium, a relic that could change everything in our favor, although after thousands of years of searching, we still have no records that it exists. And we also saw the pages of the Grand Compendium talked about in Demon Rush Episode 2, the anime promo, so go watch that to get more information. Karner asks Rush to follow the lead because he has other duties to attend to. He figures that this lead is probably going to lead to nothing. They've been searching for thousands of years. There's no way they actually found it. Just check to be sure. And that's when Karner says that these men are known as the Black Hand. And this freaks Rush out because he realizes that the Black Hand is the group that killed his father. So after this chapter, we can understand that Earth is actually doing a decent job in preparing for further invasions. They're starting to create some weaponry, and Rush is chasing a lead on some sort of mythical artifact that they're not even sure exists, but it could change everything. And now he's been introduced to this group that has ties to his father, which is going to give you his backstory. Don't forget to tell your friends about Demon Rush, put them on it, and we also have our very first major tournament for the trading card game coming up this March 23rd in Maryland. It's going to be an awesome event, live streamed, and we will have plenty of videos to make from that. I encourage you guys to get into the card game if you want to learn more about Demon Rush and be a part of our incredibly awesome community where we meet on Discord on a daily basis to hang out and play cards. So I hope to see you guys there, and I will see you soon for some more Demon Rush.